Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Carl Frampton, who takes on Santa Cruz coming up on Showtime coming January 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, yeah. Congrats. It's your first time fighting in Vegas. Yeah. Irish kid coming through the system and finally making it there. It's a big deal, man. How does it feel to get that chance and that opportunity to fight in Vegas?
It's huge for me. It's another box ticked off, you know, and obviously what I wanted to do when I turned professional was win a world title, and I've done that. I've won a second one, the second weight division. I've topped the bill in New York, about the top one in Vegas. So it's more than I could have dreamed of when I turned professional. I'm really looking forward to getting out.
I want to say you're in a position now where you have a really strong claim to be Fighter of the Year. You went and unified a division, then you went and moved up a division, being the smaller guy, and you beat the bigger guy in Santa Cruz. You take his title away from home. That's a big accomplishment. I feel you should get the nod for Fighter of the Year, but what do you make of that when people are saying Carl Frampton more than likely will get Fighter of the Year?
Well, even to be thought about along those lines, you know, I don't know whether I'll win it or not. I would obviously love to, but even to be mentioned, it's great. Obviously, Lomachenko's had an amazing year, Terence Crawford as well, and a few other fighters. But to be mentioned alongside those guys as potentially the Fighter of the Year, it's great, and you know, hopefully I can win it, but no big deal if I don't.
The night of the first fight, it was a crazy atmosphere, and you could tell there was something special in the air that night. You had so many people traveling to see you, and then you go and you take the title away. How did it feel to be in that moment? And really, it must have felt it was close to being at home, if not pretty similar.
Yeah, it was good. The atmosphere was great. Obviously, I picked up a lot of support from the East Coast Irish Americans as well, and I brought a lot of people with me from Belfast and from the rest of Ireland and from the UK. So, but I'm expecting more people. There's more people coming out here. There was a big football tournament on, the European Championships, around the same time, so that affected a lot of people getting to New York. But this time there's nothing, and obviously Christmas isn't great. People having not a lot of money after buying presents, but a lot of people are making their way out here. I'm expecting to bring maybe 4,000 people from back home. I'm hoping that some of the East Coast Irish Americans will follow me too, and just boxing fans in general. They appreciate a good fighter when they see one, and hopefully they can get behind me.
I can't imagine like 4,000 or 5,000 Irishmen running around Vegas. I know. Seeing the pictures in Brooklyn, you had quite a celebration after the victory, right? It was packed.
Yeah, it was good. We went to a little pub, an Irish pub, and we had some drinks and celebrated, you know. And it was just me kind of showing my appreciation for all the support, the travelling support that came out. So, you know, I'm hoping obviously for another victory this time, and we'll sort something out and celebrate together with the fans as well after the fight.
That would have been me. I would have stayed up till like 6, 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I was tired after the fight. It was the day after we actually went. So, but I'm not very good at the drinking. I can't put too much booze away. So, I was put to bed pretty early that night.
That's probably a good thing. I think your trainer likes to hear that. Now, looking at the first fight, when was the moment that you knew that you had it, and that you knew that you had him figured out?
You know, it was a hard fight, and a lot of the rounds were close, but you know, it was important for me to kind of stamp my authority on the fight early on and make sure that Leo respected me, and I heard him in the second round, and I heard him a number of times throughout the fight, and it was important to do that. Leo can just overwhelm people if he doesn't have the respect, and he had my respect, and vice versa. So it was important to do that. But it was a close fight. I feel like I won it. I don't think there was any controversy involved, but again, this is going to be a tough fight, and I'm preparing even harder than the first time.
I know there was a rematch clause in the contract. You had to go through with the rematch in this fight. If you had a choice, though, would you have preferred to go ahead and defend your title against somebody else?
Well, no, not necessarily, because I enjoyed the fight. It was the most exciting fight I've been involved in my career to date, and the last fight I had with Scott Quigg, it was a terrible fight. It was a boring fight, and people will quickly forget about it, but people will remember the fight with Leo for a very long time. So I was happy to go straight back into it, and I said that to him after. You know, he gave me the opportunity. He was the champion. He gave me the opportunity to fight for the title, and I was more than happy to let him have the opportunity to try and win it back.
Not a lot of people do that, so I think you set a good example in going ahead and doing that. when looking at the performance, would you feel you did well? And that when you look back at the tape, you're like, okay, I need to do more of that.
Yeah.
Not only in this rematch, but in future fights.
There was times I made a mistake. I got drawn into a fight a little bit too much, and that's Leo's game. You know, he's a great inside fighter. Although he's got a good bit of height on me and a longer reach, he's pretty good up close and personal. So I get drawn into a fight a bit too much, and if I use my brain a little bit more, I think I can win the fight more convincingly. You know, I can adapt. I can fight going forward. I can fight going backwards. There was a few mistakes I made, but I'll not go into them, and I'll not give the game plan away. But we're making adjustments in training, and hopefully it'll make the fight much more convincing for me this time.
On a final sort of thought, Leo had a lot of stuff going on in the build-up to the camp.
Yeah.
When you fought him that night, did you feel it was the Leo you were expecting, or did you even kind of think or have an inkling, hey, this is not the same guy I trained for, or he's not fighting the same way I expected him to fight?
It felt very difficult. It felt hard, and Leo was constantly coming forward the whole night, and he's a great fighter. I was expecting a tough fight, I really was, and I knew that he was never going to slow up. He was always going to keep coming, and but in the fight, you know, I did feel comfortable, although it was a hard fight, but I felt comfortable in there. But I believe that with a few adjustments, I can make the fight a little bit easier for myself.
All right, Carl, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
You getting free pints now?
Not now, don't know. Not till after the fight.
But you've been getting them though. Life's been good.
Well, every now and again, yeah, someone will buy me a free pint, yeah.
That's awesome, Carl. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Carl Frampton, of course, defends his title coming up on Showtime January 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada.